Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with our 3-minute daily dose of Torah. Looking at a pasuk, Perek Aleph pasuk Zion today, chapter 1, verse 7. But the Torah says the following in the early moments, right? We're telling the version of history. Bnei Yisrael and the children of Israel, Paru, Vayishratzu, Vayirbu, Vayatzmu b'me'od me'od. The children of Israel, they were fruitful and they multiplied and they spread out, swarmed. Vayishratzu, they swarmed, and they were, increased as we said, and they were very powerful, much so. But and the land was filled with them. All the commentaries, follow a midrashic read here that understands this to be a praiseworthy statement or a story about the explosive growth of the Jewish people with God's blessings, that we should have so much growth. Multiple births one time was a standard, and it's just a story about our success. One midrashic trend, though, disagrees with this and says as follows. This is a teaching of Shimon ben Lakish, and he uses another verse, which we're not going to look at right now, and says, Shalom malu et b'neihem. The Torah really, we should understand, we should know about our ancestors then in Egypt. They didn't circumcise their children. They gave lehem balorit, and they allowed themselves to grow locks. Balorit is a reference in rabbinic text to the Greek and Roman method of having long, curly hair, flowing hair, which was not a Jewish way to look, but rather to look like the rest of the goyim, right? So we did not circumcise our children, and we allowed our locks to grow long, and that's the verse Bnei Yisrael Paru Vayishratzu, that we were multiplied by Yishritzu, which I said before, swarmed, which is taken in one midrash to mean something very nice, but it really, Sheretz is a creepy, crawly thing, and says Asa Shratzim. They made themselves like bugs or something which is no longer, it's foreign to us. We don't eat bugs. A sheretz is something we usually push away. We made ourselves that way. Because of what we did with the foreskin, and we allowed and we allowed our hair to grow long. Bahashem bagdu. That really was an act of betrayal of God. And suddenly you have two very different statements that we're putting out here. One is that Bnei Yisrael are completely innocent, and the anti-Semitism and hatred that comes from Pharaoh comes as it does out of nowhere, as we're being the fine Yidden that we're supposed to be. And the other one says it's not in any way an excuse for anti-Semitism or explanation for anti-Semitism, but we should know there is an assimilation factor here which we should be worried about then, and we have to be mindful about even to this day. I mean, we grow our hair as we grow our hair. But if we kind of lose our sense of identity, both in how we look and the primary mitzvot that we try to observe, then we really are lost. Then we're caught up in the world of Egypt, and more troubles follow. So just be mindful for ourselves each and every day about the gift that we have to have a place in this world that we do, but never lose our own sense of commitments and identity, which define us as Jews. Have a great day.